So now that the dust has settled a little bit on last week's card reward, which definitely goes down as my best ever, I thought I'd make a video, run through the ideas in my head that I have right now on what to do with him, and also to bounce some ideas off you guys in the comment section. So if you do enjoy the video, please do leave it a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. But today we're going to be trying to come up with a conclusion on what I should do with the super rare Yamal that I won last week for winning under 23 super rare division 1. I'm still in shock that this card is mine. To be completely honest with you, it doesn't feel real. So I won him on the Wednesday. That Wednesday night he got was it an assist or a goal? Let me go back to game week 49. He got something, and it was it was Wednesday, wasn't it? We had so many game weeks last week, it was rather confusing. Sorry, I played him in under 23. I captained him, and he didn't score 100. He scored a poxy 99.8, which I still haven't forgiven him about. That then allowed me to open or reveal the card, because it is a celebration edition card. And yeah, we knew what the card looked like, but we didn't know what it looked like in super rare. This is a 1 of 1 as we speak. So it might sell in auction, the 9 of 10 or the 10 of 10 celebration edition. But right now, they haven't. And I think they've only got 1 day left for the celebration edition cards to be issued, for example. So he could end up being the only ever celebration edition Yamal from that season, or this season, sorry. And so, the card's obviously, not only is it special because it's a super rare Yamal, it's even more unique in the case, in the sense of it's a celebration edition. How much more unique or how much more added value is that? I don't know, to be honest. Nobody knows, because there is no other one. No other one has been sold. No other one has sold. And nobody's made me an offer for it. So it's quite hard to say, normal super rare Yamal goes for, and you can look down here. The last one sold on December 9th. Okay, it was Neon Edition for that amount. What's the celebration edition worth? I don't know. You'd like to think a bit more, but then you could also argue there is less in-season utility since December. So, it's an interesting sort of debate, I guess. It's not even a debate. It's just, it's a conversation maybe to have it, in your mind as a hypothetical. Is this one worth more than any other Yamal? You'd like to think so, but who knows? I've never been offered anything for it yet. I've only owned it a week, right? But basically, the video today is more sort of trying to iron out, does my gallery need a Yamal super rare? Now, of course, every gallery needs a Yamal super rare in theory, or a Yamal in general. But does my gallery warrant a Yamal super rare? Now, it's an awkward question to answer, to be honest, because I do have some good cards. I wouldn't kid myself in that sense. I do have good super rares, objectively. Rodrigo super rare, for example, is probably my next best super rare on paper, I would argue. Just trying to go through, what I've got going on here. But definitely Rodrigo, I would say, probably stands out. If we're talking under 23s, Jacob Briam has been unbelievable this season. Szoboszlai, who helped me win Yamal. I've got some decent cards, decent super rare cards. But the issue with this Yamal is I don't play super rare champion. One, I don't have a goalkeeper. I probably don't have the budget to do it. So if we go into my champion cards here, and these are all my champion super rares, okay? So Yamal, obviously. Szoboszlai. Harry Wilson, he's out for 10 weeks. I won Dean Howson 4 months ago, which at the time was a tier 2, and I was fuming about it. I knew he had promise. I knew he would be good. But I didn't nobody knew he was going to get into the Bournemouth team, because Senesi gets injured and turns out to be one of the best centre-backs in the world right now. So that one was super lucky. But of course, champion in season. Yamal, champion in season. Tom Kearney, I bought him as a bit of a punt, to be honest, to go with Harry Wilson for some collection bonus. Like I said, Harry Wilson's injured. So I basically have 2 fit in-season super rare champion cards. Now, at the end of September, we're going to need 4 in-season super rare cards to play in any super rare in-season comp. So I'm basically going to have to double the amount of in-season super rares I have and get a keeper to even compete at champion. Not even compete, just to put a team out in champion super rare. So the champion super rare angle for me, 14, 15, 16 games left in the season, I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, to be honest. And so then in my head, I go, okay, if I'm not going to utilize him in Super Rare Champion, then, where's the next best avenue that this Yamal can do some damage for me, basically, and win me some more cards, cash, whatever that may be, for the remainder of the season. So then I look at, okay, well, do I just play him in under 23 Super Rare all season? Until, forever, basically, because he's still only 17. But you know what I mean? Like, do I just run him there? I did do that this weekend. I ran him in, under 23 Super this weekend in Division 1. Obviously, I gave him the armband because why wouldn't I? With Rodrigo, with Ibarra, with El Karani, who absolutely shat the bed, with Toblason, who got himself another clean sheet, who's on fire. So, yeah, no reward this weekend with Yamal. No decisive from him himself. And yeah, that was that the best place? I thought with the other fixtures I had, the other 4 around him, I thought using my Yamal there this weekend was the play. It obviously turned out to not be the case, which is fine. The other avenue, or the other place I could have played him this weekend specifically, was Champion in Season. I play Champion in Season Rare quite religiously. Like, I have 3 going out every week, 2 in Division 1, 1 in Division 2 right now. This is one of my Division 1s. I was probably going to play him ahead of Frankowski. It turned out Frankowski only scored 5 points less than Yamal, so it wouldn't have really mattered too much there, to be honest, because the Reims defensive stack completely killed me. But yeah, another D1, and then that's a D3. There's a lot of in-season cards there, but it's not an in-season lineup. It's a classic. So yeah, the two ways I can utilize Yamal right now, like from now to the end of the season, is under 23 Super Rare or Champion in Season Rare. Like I said, Champion in Season Super Rare is just, I just think there's just too much of a barrier there, price-wise, to go into it now. Like, if you're looking at what a keeper would cost, for example, like, let's go into manager sales, Super Rare, we'll go League, we'll go down to Champion, and let's look for in-season as well, because I need 2 more in-season cards, and one of them needs to be a keeper, realistically. So let's go position. And how much does a half-decent Champion in-season Super Rare goalkeeper set you back? Obviously, we want him to be a starter, so none of these probably come into it. I guess this guy does start here for Holstein Kiel, but I'm definitely not spending money on a Holstein Kiel goalkeeper. David Raya, I know this is listing price, but I mean, that doesn't look too bad there. So you got Anthony Lopez, £322. Now, obviously, he's moved to Nantes, and they are horrendous. This is his scores so far. They might get a bit better now and again with a certain matchup, but, you're not going to play him every week with confidence, right? But, there's a decent price point there. You've got Davis Vasquez there. Conde might be back. Well, I think he is number 1 at Villarreal. So, yeah, again, nearly £800 on a La Liga keeper there. Bizot for £300 doesn't seem terrible. So, you're basically looking at £280 there. Let's just call Bizot the benchmark without going any further. You're looking at like £300 for the keeper. Then I need to buy another outfielder in season. Once the end of February rolls around, and you're going to need 4 and 1 for Super Rare. Right now it's 3 in season, 2 classic. So, before I know it, I've probably sunk at least £500 into, 2 or 3 in season cards, Bizot, and then £100 on 2 other in seasons for a bit of depth, let's just call it. I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze at all there. Like, I just don't see me competing at this stage in the season behind on collection bonuses. Yeah, I have one of the best cards on the game, like in Champion, in Yamal. But there is also other really good cards I don't own. Rafinha's and, Vinny's. Okay, I do own Rodrigo. So, I could run something like, let's say if I did buy that. Let's say if I did buy Bizot. Dean Howson, who's in season, of course. An in-season midfielder. It would have been Harry Wilson, but it's not right now. Let's not give him a name right now. Rodrigo, Yamal. Like, I could use that team. Rodrigo is my classic player. Like, it is a decent team, but I think a lot of people probably have a team in and around that type of quality in Champions season. And I just don't see me competing there, right now. So then I go, okay, we play him in under 23 Super Rare, or we play him in Champ Rare. So I'm playing Yamal down a scarcity in one of these lineups, for example. Is it optimal? Probably not, because I'm using like a couple £1,000 card basically, when I could just use the rare version if I had him, obviously, right? So there is that element. Like, do I feel like I'm doing my Yamal Super Rare disservice playing him down? There is definitely that conversation to be had. Now, the conversation would have changed had I won this Yamal start of the season. So we saw a good friend of mine, PSU fans, he won a Vinny in season early on in the season. And he made a ridiculous, I'm going to try and find it. He made an incredible trade with, I think it was Bambi, Team Bambi, who is a mega whale on this game. So, like I said, PSU won an in-season Vinny. Let's see if we can find it because I know, yeah, there we go. So this is it. Team Bambi basically traded it off him. And this was the trade. So PSU, sent Vinny Jr. in season. He got in return a Vinny Jr. Super Rare Classic, a Trubin Classic Super Rare, a Kimmich Classic Super Rare, and a Højbjerg Classic Super Rare. Like, I still can't believe that this was a deal. Now, I get it because the Vinny was in season and having the in-season cards for someone like Team Bambi is really important. For example, he has the in-season unique Yamal. He also has the classic Super Rare Yamal, which, I mean, would I mind taking that off him in exchange for maybe my one and some other bits? Potentially. That might be a bit of a call out to Team Bambi there. But yeah, he got this a month ago, actually from a friend of mine, just Mike, if you're watching, legend. And yeah, I don't know okay, so the trade was Vinny. Wow. So he traded a Vinny Super Rare in season, which he already had once. That would have been his second. And this Thierno Barry for Yamal, which is an interesting trade, I guess. So it's one of them where it's like, okay, if Bambi come to me and goes, Harry, I won the in-season Yamal because Super Rares are going, to 4-1 as far as you have to use 4 Super Rares in-season comps. What does it take to take my Celebration Edition Yamal to trade him for this one plus other things? Like, I can't imagine he's going to give me a Kimmich Super Rare and a Trubin Super Rare, for example, like they did with, with PSU, because it was the start of the season. Like, that Vinny had a lot more in-season utility. I'm winning this Yamal with how many games left, not including Champions League and stuff, just league domestically. 3, 4, what's that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games left, not including Champions League. So, start of the season is over 30 games, right? So I've got an in-season Yamal. I've won an in-season Yamal halfway through the season. So his in-season ability to win cash is halved, basically, right? Because there's just half of the games to go. So there is that, like, I think that might put off a few people, like a few whales, to come and maybe try and tempt me away from this card because they don't have the full season left. The only thing that goes against that for me in my head is the whole, like I've mentioned a few times, end of February, when the MLS starts, you're going to need 4 in-season cards to play at Super Rare. So somebody like Bambi, who could right now play like, I don't know, Rodrigo and Yamal Classics in an in-season Super Rare lineup, well, after Feb, he won't be able to. He'd have to use an in-season Yamal with the classic Rodrigo with another 3 in-season cards. So I don't know whether I'll see maybe a bit of an uptick in offers on him potentially once that kicks in at Super Rare. Right now, it hasn't kicked in. So yeah, I'm in a weird situation where, like, I don't want to feel like I'm doing my Yamal in season. Not that he has feelings, but I don't want to do him a disservice. Like, if I'm always just going to play him down in rare, I might as well just have the rare version and bank the rest of the profits, or bank the rest of the the cards I could have him with him in a trade. Like, if I traded my Yamal for a rare in season plus X, Y, and Z, there is that in my head. But then I go, okay, or do I just keep running him in under 23 Super Rare every week? Where I won him, of course, with Rodrigo. Rodrigo's under 23 until the end of the season, so I'll definitely want to, utilize that as much as possible. The only thing that kind of puts me off doing that in a way is I don't have a ton of Super Rare goalkeepers under 23 wise, if we, for depth. Like, right now, I literally just have Toblason. So, this upcoming weekend, Toblason's away to Club Brugge. That is a game where I can see him conceding 3, unfortunately. So if I was to, I'd be forced to play him there because I don't have any other options. Let's just say I play El Karoni because he's got a good matchup at home. I'm not really thinking too much about this right now, but let's just go Ibarra again at home, whatever. Yamal's away and Rodrigo's playing at home to Atletico Madrid. So, a lineup like that, I'm pretty confident in all 4 of those outfielders. You're going to be confident in Yamal and maybe Rodrigo in his form. But then I go, is the goalkeeper just going to completely let him down there? And am I just wasting my Yamal there? is basically what I'm asking. Now, of course, Layson isn't going to have a terrible matchup every week, but I did have another Super Rare goalkeeper that got benched a couple of months ago now, for Hibernian in the Scottish League. So I did have, a rotation of two different goalies. If Layson didn't have a good matchup, I would look to see if my Hibernian keeper had a better matchup, right? But just going with Layson every week, I just don't know if I'm basically what I'm saying is, should I just run Yamal into the ground in under 23 Super Rare to the end of the season? And obviously beyond, because at that point he's classic, so I'll kind of be forced to play him there then, which I'm more than fine with. Do I do that? Do I play him in Champ Rare all season, basically, until the end of the season, and see what I can do with him there? Because, I do have a good amount of Champ in season depth. Like, I have some good rare cards. Kimmich, for example. Like I said, we could use Yamal down here. We could use Greenwood with him. We could use, I know they're both away, but whatever. We could use, it would have been Alphonso Davies, but he's injured. My defenders aren't actually amazing, but let's just call it Klaus at home and then just put Bolker in for argument's sake, even though he's going to get an error let to go like he did yesterday. Like, that's a good rare team. It's solid enough. Like, that could compete in D1 on a given weekend. But I might as well just use a rare Yamal at that point, Like, that's the thought, or those are the thoughts that are going around in my head right now. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you would do. Would you play him in rare champion in season? Would you play him in under 23 super rare to the end of the season? Would you mix and match it depending on, what Tobe Layson's situation is, for example, in under 23 super rare? If he doesn't have a good matchup, you play him in here. Or do you sell him? Trade him? Like, would you bank some profits and maybe get the rare and then see whatever you can do with, the rest of the funds that you would get for him? Do you trade him for a classic Super Rare Yamal plus some other things, plus some cash or more cards, for example, like the PSU trade? There's quite a few options for me, I guess, without me having received any offers yet. And like I said, I haven't really said it yet, but these in-season cards are ticking time bombs. Like, Yamal in season is only in season for 15 more weeks, effectively. After that, he's classic forever. So, do I cash in on that 15-game in-season-ness, or do I use it myself in rare? Those are the thoughts that are going through my head right now. I am honestly quite torn, after a week of owning him. And yeah, I'm very interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Please do let me know in the comment section. As always, I appreciate you massively. Leave a like on the video, and I shall see you guys in the next one.